Hey, everybody. That's right, Schmitty. Welcome back to Bowfishing Buzz, episode 62.
62. That's what I'm talking about.
Is it 62?
62. You are correct.
No, it might be 63.
Is it 63?
Because I think 61 was when we were on the water, and then we had, a week ago today, we had Maverick in the studio here.
Oh, boy.
So it might be 63.
We're having so many of these. I think this is our third week in a row, Matt, of having a podcast.
It is.
So they're really racking up here. 62, 63, whatever it might be. Welcome back.
Welcome to the Bowfishing Buzz, brought to you by AMS Bowfishing and
Megamouth Bowfishing as well.
Whew, Schmitty.
It's been a long week. A long, great, fantastic, tiring, exciting week.
Yeah, you got that right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And our podcast is a little off schedule right now, but we've had 3 weeks of them.
Yeah.
So we should be very happy.
Yep. The bonus podcast you guys responded to fantastically last week with Maverick on here.
Yeah.
Lots of listens there, so we appreciate you guys doing that. So we figured, you know what, we got the Big 20 is wrapping up. It wrapped up here this last weekend, so we got to keep striking while the iron's hot. You know, we got lots to talk about. So we're here.
There's so much that's still fresh in our head from the tournament. Yep. So we're doing a AMS Big 20 podcast recap.
The recap, exactly,
because it was an amazing weekend.
It was as much goes into that. The weekend itself, just from a working standpoint, it's very enjoyable and satisfying when it's all done with. When how everything went down. So very cool.
And I'm a little late here on notes and stuff because I was gone Monday and Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. You were out shooting fish.
We were out on the water. I took out Corey Brossman was here from Pennsylvania, my good buddy from Interlocks out there.
Yeah.
So he stayed a couple days after the tournament, and we went on the water and did some filming and shooting.
Yeah. Yep. He shot in the Big 20, and he's always very generous with what he does through Interlock and all of his brands and everything. He does all kinds of fantastic stuff. So huge shout out to Corey. But yeah, you guys were out shooting some fish. How'd that go, Matt?
It was rough. It was windy. I tell you what, I do not have allergies. I've never had allergies ever before. Never. I could be on the water and the pond will just be whipping off those trees and all that stuff, and I'm just fine. And I remember years ago, Timmy Boy, he had allergies really bad.
Yeah.
And I remember he was always filming our trips,
Sure.
And I remember he'd be up there, and he could when you would go back and rewatch the footage to see what you're going to do with it, you could always hear him.
I can see you doing an interview somewhere. Hey, welcome back, guys. We're out here in Kentucky. Restart it, guys. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I have never had allergies like that. Never bothered me before.
Sure.
But these last couple of days and this weekend and stuff, my nose was running.
Really?
That was crazy. I was sneezing a lot. But here it's from those goofy wildfires.
I was going to say the air quality has been so bad all over the United States because I think it's like Quebec wildfires.
Yeah, it is.
Are burning right now, which is terrible. That's awful. But
yeah, because I'm sure you've got. I was getting those air quality alerts on my phone all weekend and Monday and Tuesday.
They were actually. This is funny you brought that up, Matt. I was looking last night. There's pictures of Yankee Stadium. They're rescheduling baseball games because of the haze. Like you can't. Like they took a picture from home plate, and like you couldn't see the left field bleachers or the seats of the stadium. It's just crazy right now. I
saw they were canceling flights and stuff because of this.
You couldn't see on the runways and all kinds of crazy stuff. But I'm guessing that absolutely played a role in what you had going on.
I felt great Tuesday when we were over there, and it had cleared up a little bit by then. Sure. And I'm fine right now.
Right.
But literally, I'd be sitting there at a restaurant eating something, and my nose would start running. I'm like, what? I don't have a cold.
Right. You feel fine.
I feel great.
Yeah.
Feel great.
Goofy.
But, Schmitty.
Uh-oh.
I've got something in my pocket on my phone I need to show you.
Okay.
Because I got a message from our little buddy over in Michigan, Easton.
Oh, very cool. All right.
So he sent me a picture, and he said, show this to Smitty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He said,
really?
Show this to Smitty. Yep. So I'm going to show you this right now, and
I
you will
knew it. I knew it. Oh my gosh. Let me get a closer look at this. I am right now looking at a picture of Easton, and he has himself a beautiful goldfish on there, or a common that has a gold color. I don't know which one it is, but
it's a goldfish.
I am about as jealous as they come right now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
But he wanted you to see that on the podcast.
Well, Easton, I very much appreciate that. That's very cool. Thank you for sending it in. You are a little certified killer. He shot that fish right through the snout.
Right.
Nice shot.
And I'm going to try to get this up also on the AMS YouTube channel, a video of this, and we'll put a bunch of pictures from Easton's goldfish here to a bunch of photos and videos from the Big 20 this weekend. It'll be really cool to watch.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it'll be like an episode with all the footage that we have. Well, that's awesome, Easton. Thank you so much for participating with us here and sending us that picture.
I'm not done with Easton yet,
Oh, jeez.
I'm not done with them yet. The young man, the moon pies are going crazy for Easton over there because he's having some good luck.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Check this out here.
Oh boy.
I also got another BAA youth record.
Oh my gosh.
A couple weekends ago. We went out at night after the Michigan youth tournament. I got a brown bullhead. And then he says on here, those moon pies are good luck.
Oh my gosh. He's got a good sense of humor.
Right here he's got his new youth
heck
record.
Yeah, look
brown
at that
bullhead.
toad. Good Lord. You can't, that smile, that is as genuine of a happy, excited smile as you can come across.
So way to go to our young man over
That's awesome.
Michigan, Easton.
That's awesome, Easton.
Yeah.
Thank you for sending those in. That's very cool. Do you know how many times I've been tagged in pictures now, Matt? Of goldfish?
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. All of a sudden I'll get it, Jesse was the first one because we talked about it.
Sure.
He tagged me in one because remember we talked about he's shooting goldfish 12 or 13 of them a night the size of his work boot.
Right.
Well, he proved that to me because he sent me a picture of a goldfish on the deck with his work boot right next to us, and the freaking goldfish was 2 or 3 inches bigger than his work boot. Then all of a sudden, I'll just get tags from people that I don't even know that must listen to the podcast.
Awesome.
And then all of a sudden, it's a goldfish. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's great. Thanks for rubbing that in. Everyone's out shooting them like crazy, and I have never even seen one. But whatever, cool. Very cool. We love the interaction. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Just on a little short side note here, Schmitty, we've got some work that's going to be being done on the AMS boat here in the next couple of weeks. When you were gone Monday, Tuesday, you sent me a message and said, hey, Derek, check if the aqua traction is in. Right. And it was here. We got it all laid out. So that's going to get installed at what point? In a couple hours today. Yeah, good deal. Yeah. That's freaking awesome. So the aqua traction will be on the bow fishing boat, on the deck and on the catwalks and on top of the light rails. On the AMS boat. And then a new wrap. A new wrap, not a Subway wrap. No. This is a new boat wrap, Schmitty. No, this isn't a chicken bacon ranch wrap. No, this is a boat wrap. Right. Yeah. You can't order this at Festival. No. And we were actually going through a bunch of them yesterday. Yeah. And it's crazy. It's crazy the decision process that goes into it. I mean, we got 10 or 12 different ones that look awesome. But it's just how do we narrow it down? Because a boat wrap, that's a semi-permanent thing. You're going to have it on there for years, 4 or 5 years. You're going to have that on there. Right. And we just want to get it right, but be out on the look for that because it's going to look pretty sharp. But I'm jacked up because the aqua traction is going on today. Yeah. Yep. Can't wait to get that all laid out and see what that looks like on the deck. You know what? That'll save our backs too. Not only that, Derek, but the thing that I like about it is it deadens the sound. Oh, sure. Yeah. The boat. Yeah. Yeah. Dropping something, When we were out shooting here earlier this month. Well, it's June now. Good Lord. When we were out shooting in May, and we were shooting some spawning fish that were a little spooky. Yep. You'd shoot a fish, and you'd reel them into the boat, and you'd lift them into the barrel, and you would tiptoe back up onto the deck. And if you made one slight mistake, Matt would yell at you for being loud. But yes, I'm very much looking forward to being able to have something that's not so. I mean, that diamond plate, everything just echoes off of an arrow or a fish flopping around. Right. So yeah, that'll be so. I'm looking very forward to seeing that aqua traction on there. So and I've seen boats with it on, just through seeing bow fishing pictures and ever since I saw it for the first time, I'm like, oh my gosh, that takes that boat to a new level. It does. You can have an awesome wrap on there, but then when you come up top onto the deck and our center console and everything and the catwalk, yeah. I mean, that's going to look really cool. It's going to look nice. Really Can't wait to get that on there. Yeah. Yep. Because I'm actually leaving next Wednesday, Derek. Oh, I didn't even know this. Where are you going? I'm heading down to Kentucky. Okay. For the Jared Ashmore. Oh, I got you. Cool. Youth tournament. Yep. Always a cool event. Got a couple kids I wanted to be taking out. Nice. And this is going to be really cool because Cody.
Yep, love it.
Dennis Redden's grandson is, I think he's 17 now or 16.
Okay.
He bought his own little boat.
Yes. Okay.
Yep.
He sent me a picture of that boat. Awesome looking boat.
Yep. Going to take out his sister, and we're going to do some filming ahead of time down there.
Heck
and
yeah.
I just want to get that. I want to film a lot of that stuff where you got a young kid, you know,
yeah.
and he's got his own little bow fishing rig set up, his fishing boat set up, and we're going to film him going out, you know.
So he's kind of he's gonna take you bow fishing kind of.
And I'm just going to record.
How cool is that?
And hopefully we get Cody's sister in there also.
Sure.
Do much of that. And then, of course, the Jared Ashmore tournament, going there and attending that. Andy Cardwell and his whole crew did an amazing job. If you ever get a chance, you know, if you're in the area, they're still looking for boat captains because there's hundreds of kids that show up for this event. And it's so cool. It's really a neat event to be part of and to go down there and see the faces of those kids. Everyone walks away with a prize. You know, it's just a really neat setup. And then I'm going to be I'm going to stay a couple more days after the Jared Ashmore to do a little more shooting down there. I'm going to. We had Lance Brantley on here a couple podcasts ago. He won the Bass Pro U.S. Open Championship. I'm going to sit down and talk with him. Yeah. I'm going to try to get on the water with Lance a little bit down there as well. And of course, Dennis Redden.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. Mr. Kentucky himself.
Yeah.
Cool. That's very.
So looking forward to that.
Is that Jared Ashmore tournament? Is it still like? Does it run till like 1 o'clock in the morning?
It starts. You take off at 7 p.m.
Okay.
And you have to be back at 1 a.m.
Gotcha. So, and that's perfect for the kids, too. If you're getting some kids who, you know, obviously a full night of shooting, that's a lot for a 13-year-old to do that who maybe hasn't done it before. So I think that's another awesome aspect of it. It's, you know, you're going to get home late, but it's not going to be like an all-night thing. It kind of caters to the kids there. So this is going to totally age me, Matt. But, God, I remember sitting up on the filming platform filming Ty and Cody when they were about yay tall. I mean, that's crazy. And now Cody's taking you bow fishing.
Yeah. I was reading one of the Facebook posts that Andy had made about the Jared Ashmore, you know, coming up and kind of the schedule and what's going on, and thanking everybody for everything. And one of his comments on there was he's seen kids, you know, come there as shooters. Now some of these kids that were shooters are now parents, and they're bringing their kids. Where, you know,
exactly.
And it's a really cool deal.
You can't ask for a better way for that to turn out than that.
I think it's been going on for 15 years.
Really? Yeah. Wow. That's awesome in itself right there. That it's been doing that for so long. Very cool. That's very cool. I'm guessing AMS, we're going to have some product down there to be giving away to the kids.
We're going to be taking a bunch of swag again.
Good deal. That's awesome. Very cool.
You bet.
Very cool.
But But Schmitty, I think let's move into the big topic here.
Yes, Big 20 talk.
Big 20.
Yeah.
It was another one for the record books.
Yep.
Just a great, fantastic weather. It was amazing. It was hot.
It was hot Saturday. Standing out there doing boat inspections and whatnot, but it was rather that than rain and terrible wind or something like that. Very cool.
Because we had the boat garages that we use here at the shop, all tables, banners hanging up everywhere. The Boy Scouts were grilling out a bunch of burgers and brats and food and stuff they had in there.
Yep. We had a shop set up with all kinds of AMS and Megamouth equipment, so that was very cool.
People were walking by with bow cases, Megamouth reels,
crazy
arrows. It was just really cool.
QTs flying off the shelf.
They were. They really were.
They were the preferred tournament point for sure.
We had a long table with all the prizes on them. Randy Parker's big trophy for the big fish, the driftwood there, you know, and stuff, and everything was sitting out there.
Yeah.
And then registration up on there where Alyssa and Wendy were handling all the registrations.
Yep.
Right down from them was the boat inspections where you were set up with Kevin and
Bob.
Bob.
Yep. We had 4 lanes of boat inspections, and I've been saving to say this on the podcast too. Everybody who came to the tournament, and just in case if you weren't there, just to give you a little bit of an insight on it, we got 4 lanes, and we have a checklist of a bunch of stuff that we check off on each boat just to make sure everyone's safe, everyone has working equipment, everything is good to go there. And the cooperation by the 87 boats that came through boat inspection, just hats off to everybody. Everybody was a joy to work with. You were very cooperative with us going through our checklist, so just thank you for doing that. That really made things flow smoothly.
Absolutely. Yeah, because everybody was parked over there in time for the 5 p.m. meeting. We have a big meeting, and we do a bunch of the door prizes then. And it's just a really cool atmosphere. You had we had the bleachers set up, and everybody was on the bleachers. We had the AMS boat out there with the American flag up on there, music playing. You know, throwing a bunch of towels and shirts and hats to all the
Make America Great Again towels that we were throwing out.
You had a hat, all right?
Okay.
And there's a guy sitting on the top row of the bleachers.
Okay.
And he's like, hey, throw me a hat. And you like wound up and underhand whipped this hat.
Okay. I remember throwing hats, but I don't necessarily remember this.
You don't remember that?
This situation
and literally the hat hit him right in the gut.
Oh, that's
right in the stomach. And he couldn't miss it.
Yep.
Exactly. You don't remember that?
I wasn't a freaking pitcher on varsity as a freshman for nothing, dog.
Oh, that was fun. But we were throwing a bunch. Jeff Nyball from N Designs there sent up a whole big box of towels with Trump on it. Make bow fishing great again.
Those were like we were throwing them out of there, and
people were like
getting angry.
I know.
People were like, hey, you haven't thrown any over here yet. I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. I threw some over there, but yeah, those were in high demand.
They were.
Yeah.
They were.
Yeah. I saw one guy, he had a towel clipped on.
Yep.
Alyssa threw a towel. Okay. He reached up and he grabbed the towel, and I'm like, dude, come on. What are you doing? Then he handed it to a kid.
Oh, cool.
So I'm like, okay, all right, good deal.
Yeah.
Good deal. So
but, yeah, which is a really neat atmosphere. Go over the rules and regulations.
Oh, yeah.
And then at 6 p.m., we have all 87 boats lined up ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
To get out of here.
Yep.
We have the police are down at the intersection there where the stop and go lights are.
Yeah.
And I call him, and he says, let's rock.
Mm-hmm.
And we go, and all 87 boats.
This blows my mind, what you're about to say.
All lined up.
Huge rigs, big trucks, boats.
Yep.
I mean, all in a line.
Yep. They're out of here in 7.5 minutes. Yeah.
That is wild.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They're gone.
That's crazy. That just shows that we've got it all blocked off appropriately. There's not cross traffic coming through, interrupting us at all. Everybody got out, in a very timely fashion.
And that's what's kind of nice about having it in this location. It's rural.
Right.
We're out here in the country.
Right.
You have to drive about 20 miles to get to the interstate, but I mean, it's just in and out, and they're gone. 87 boats all lined up.
Yeah.
Largest, a huge bow fishing parade of boats going out of here.
Yep.
In 7.5 minutes.
Yeah. Yep. My the night of the tournament, my grandma called me. Yeah, we just got back home. Yeah. And I'm like, I was dog tired. All of a sudden I get a phone call. And she lives out on 97. And she calls me and she goes, Derek, I saw a lot of those big boats and trucks with those lights on the front. Are you guys doing something over there in town? I said, yes, we are. I said, we have a big tournament. She just thought, because they were outside or something, and she just said she saw all these boats on 97. It was cool. So, yeah. I mean, it's a spectacle to behold. I mean, it's not something you see every weekend, all these boats going down there. So, yeah, a lot of people liked it. So, let me ask you this, Matt, before we proceed.
Yep.
I'm guessing from a tournament, you have more of a tournament background than I do, but I'm guessing from somebody who shoots tournaments pretty frequently, you would rather have it in an area like where we are instead of downtown big city type parking lot area. I mean, just even what we just said, the in and out is so easy. Right. You don't have to deal with all this traffic and people and shops and all that stuff, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Anything that's set outside of some type of fairgrounds.
Sure. Big open space.
Like when we had it the first couple of years in Kentucky.
Sure.
We were using the Meade County Fairgrounds.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
When we came to Tomah, we had it at the Tomah Fairgrounds.
Gotcha. Marshfield Fairgrounds.
We had it at the Marshfield Fairgrounds. Just these large locations. Here, now that we have it here at the AMS shop, it's in the industrial park, where we can use all these long roads to line everything up, you know, and everything.
Right.
It's kind of getting it down to a science.
It is.
We've been doing it for 12 years.
And we've got the people that work it have been doing it for, minimum, I've been doing it for 8 years. I've been working it. Everybody knows what they're doing. And it flows pretty smoothly. I forget the gentleman's name, but he came up to me and he says, hey, he said, Schmitty. He said he knew me from the podcast. No one knows my real name, by the way. No one knows Derek. They just know Schmitty from the podcast. He says, you guys should honestly, he was being serious. I thought he was joking at first, but then I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's actually serious. He said, you guys need to film this step by step. The whole process from pre-registration, registration, boat inspection, lining the boats up, having them come back, the meeting, the whole deal, the prizes. He said, you need to film it all and send it to other tournament people so that they can have a blueprint. I'm like, well, I mean, I'm sure all these other tournaments are fantastic, but he was very impressed by that. And that really hits home for all the work that we put into it. It's like, heck yeah, you guys are appreciating what we're doing. So very cool there. Yeah.
Bet. And then, like I said, out of here in 7.5 minutes, everybody's gone. The AMS crew gets back to work.
Yeah, I know. Yep.
We start rearranging a lot of stuff and getting our stuff ready for for Sunday's weigh-ins.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We're getting the scales ready. We're putting in the trailers for weigh-ins. That's when we get the crew that comes in here with the tractors.
Yes, which is such a. I'm so glad we started doing that. Oh my gosh, amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
One really cool thing that happened Saturday after everybody left, Derek.
Yeah.
Is I was in my office and I was sitting there going over some paperwork and stuff, and I heard a knock on the window.
Oh.
By the front door.
Okay.
The front door. Somebody was knocking on it.
Yep.
And I heard Wendy get up and go over and open the door, and I heard a guy come in, and he was asking about carp.
Oh, okay.
So I went out there, and I says, "What can I help you with?" You know, he's like, "Well," he says, "Actually, it was a woman. I'm sorry."
Oh, okay.
Woman. And she goes, "We heard about your event, and we would like to see if we could take some of your carp."
Oh.
For our heifers as we bury them and we plant grain.
They'll bury the carp and use it
as a fertilizer.
Oh, very cool.
And we have a disposal unit that we get in here.
Yep. Big dumpsters.
And we had three 20-yard dumpsters set up in locations for the culling area and the weigh-ins. Mm-hmm. And she's like, well, we were over in Green Bay, and there was a tournament over there during the daytime, and we got a little trailer full of carp.
Sure.
And she said, but we heard that you guys were having a tournament, so we thought we'd stop in and ask.
We might have a couple
extra. Here they lived 10 miles away in Spencer.
Oh, okay.
All right. And I went outside, and then I met her husband, George, and kind of told him where they could set up the trailer and stuff around. And he goes, well, he says, it was a smaller trailer.
Okay.
And they had wood on the side so the carp wouldn't fall out and stuff.
Sure.
And he goes, well, would it be too much of a hassle if I brought my dump truck?
Oh,
I'm like, oh, he wants carp.
He does want carp. Yes, he does.
I am like, absolutely.
Heck yeah, if we can give...
Absolutely. Yeah. I said, you can park that thing right here tomorrow. Be here at 6 tomorrow morning, park it right where that dumpster is, and they'll load you up.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is, so you got a dumpster. Well, that's a high throw for carp.
Sure, yeah.
Well, the guys on the tractors with the end loaders and the buckets, they could just dump them right in there.
Oh, my God, perfect.
So, and they parked their other trailer down by the culling area.
Yep.
And they took a ton of carp.
That's awesome.
And they were so happy, and I was like, this is great.
Oh, yeah, we can cut back on a dumpster maybe next year or something, and it's going to somebody who wants to use them for something good, a good deed to do to help the soil and fertilizer. And
so I've got their numbers, and they're probably going to come back again next year because we filled that dumpster up.
Yeah, that's freaking cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad he stopped in. Saturday.
Absolutely. I am too, because I was like, absolutely, take them all.
Yeah.
Take them all.
Yeah, yeah. Yep. I will say one more thing about Saturday, Matt. Just boat inspections, talking to everybody who came through. I just made a little write-up for our dealer portal, and I put this in there. You could just sense it in the air, and you get it on every tournament, but I think with this one, the weather was good, the fishing was good, the shooting was good, and everything. There was a sense of, I broke it down to hope and excitement in the air.
Yes.
And you could feel it.
Absolutely.
You talk to these guys, and no one, of course, no one's giving away too much.
Yeah.
But you'd be like, oh, how you guys feeling tonight? And he says, well, we're feeling pretty good.
Good.
If the fish do what they were doing this week, we're gonna be pretty good.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of guys that say, you know what, if we don't shoot fish, I don't care. The tournament's fun to do. We got my best 3 buds here shooting with me. Mm-hmm. It was just such a cool atmosphere of
exactly.
It wasn't like this hardcore competitive cutthroat thing, which deep down in a lot of guys it is, and that's great. That's the whole point of a tournament. But there was just a lot of hope and excitement in the air, and it was really cool to just witness that as somebody who was working the tournament.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's a good point. That's a good point, because I think a lot of teams come, like you said, just to be here, just the environment.
Yeah,
it's so fun.
Yeah,
it's so neat, and that's why I would say, if you've never been to a tournament, go to them, enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy the tournament.
Yeah.
Atmosphere of bow fishing.
Make some new friends.
Absolutely.
You're all got the same common interest.
Yep. And what I loved is I was constantly walking between registration and boat inspections up there. I was going back and forth, talking to people and stuff. And it's just so awesome to see these. Like I said, nothing's right when it comes to bow fishing boats.
Right.
Nothing's right.
Yeah.
There is no, that's it right there.
Yep.
We had jet motors. Mm-hmm. We had the mud motors. We had kickers. We had fans. We had airboats. We had kickers.
Right.
Small 16-foot boats, 15-foot boats, 17, 18s, 20s, 24s.
Yep.
Big wraps, no wraps.
Yep.
No platforms.
Right. A deck that could fit 2 people comfortably.
Absolutely.
A deck that could fit 8 people.
That's what I love about this sport is there's nothing right about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
If that makes sense to you.
Yep. Yep.
There's nothing right about it. As long as you're on the water having fun, that's all that matters.
Yeah, totally.
Yep. In fact, this last tournament, when we shot in the Wisconsin State tournament a couple weeks ago, that was our goal, is just to go out and have fun.
Sure, that's good. That's
just to go out and have fun.
Mm-hmm. That's what the sport's all about.
And what happens, happens.
Yep.
Get back home safely to the tournament site. Get back home safely to your family. That's what it's all about. Mm-hmm. And as long as you had a good time, yeah.
Yep. I was talking to one of the boats that came through, and we're going through the checklist. One of my checks on the checklist is that they have to turn on their nav lights.
Yes.
I need to see red, green, in the back white light.
Right.
And so we're going through. They're all talking. Oh my gosh, we're so excited! This is our first time shooting a tournament. We've heard a lot about it. This is really cool. Oh, that's awesome and everything. I said, all right, flip on your nav lights for me. He goes, all right, flip. And I'm looking at the red and green. And I'm like, uh-oh. I said, I got nothing up here, fellas. He goes, it was just working last night, and they flipped the boop, beep, boop, beep. Nothing's working.
How'd that go?
When they flipped the switch, it went boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, and they couldn't get them to turn on.
Yeah,
and it was right in our busy time. There were boats flying through, and I said, I tell you what, guys, I said, you're gonna have to come back through boat inspection because we do need to check that. You guys have to fix that.
Yeah.
Some guy hops out of the truck. He goes, I'm a mechanic. I'll get this thing fixed up. He grabs his little toolbox. He is taking apart wires and cutting wires and soldering things and hooking up the battery over here, and he's just flying around the boat. And I'm not lying to you. In like 45 seconds, those nav lights were working.
Really?
I was amazed. I'm like, oh my! I said, you guys can just pull up over here, get it fixed, make a loop back around. He goes, there's no need for that. We'll just fix it up right here. I'm like, oh boy, this is gonna really back stuff up here. Nope. Zoop.
He knew what he was doing.
Flipped them on, went through the rest of the checklist, and they were good to go.
Cool.
So, and I just saw that. I'm like, wow, that was impressive.
That
cool. Was very cool. So just had to mention that.
I mean, another thing that I'd like to mention here is we had teams from Arkansas.
Oh yeah.
Vermont.
Yeah.
North Dakota, South Dakota, Michigan, Minnesota.
Someone said they saw a Texas plate.
We saw a Texas plate. Yes.
Okay. Yep. So that's very cool.
And I never really got a chance to talk to the guys that were from Arkansas.
Yeah.
But Jeff got a chance to talk to them when they came back in for Sundays, coming back in for weigh-ins.
Yep.
And he said those guys had a blast. He said they had just an absolute great time. They enjoyed the tournament, and they just had a really good time.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's fantastic.
Yep.
That's good to hear.
But, Schmitty, let's move on to the Sunday's weigh-ins.
Yes, sir.
I got here around 4:45 in the morning.
Yep. Everyone else, I think we poured in at 5 o'clock, roughly.
Right around 5 o'clock. We start weighing in boats at 6 a.m. if they're here and stuff like that.
Yep.
Started out just a gorgeous morning.
Oh, it was.
Blue skies. That sun was coming up in the east there.
Probably like low 60 degrees to start the morning.
Yeah, it was just gorgeous. Not a cloud in the sky. That big sun, like I said, coming up over the east town.
We had fresh coffee being brewed from Ground Up Coffee here in Stratford. Huge shout out to them. Thank you. They had breakfast sandwiches and coffee and iced coffee. That was so cool to have that there. That was nice.
I never really got a chance to go in there and see how they were doing, but I'm guessing that they sold a lot of coffee, and she had little sandwiches also down in there. So
it's crazy. Cool. It's crazy how, like, being on a weigh-in trailer and you running around doing 100 different things that you're doing.
Right.
We don't get to go. We're not. There's like a 6-hour block where we're on a trailer or doing something, and we have no idea what's going on inside. So, but yeah, that was really neat for them to be here.
So once we had everything set up, the cool part is, so all the vehicles come in 3 blocks away from the weigh-in area.
Yep.
All right. There's a long road that goes down behind Industrial Park, and we have 2 dumpsters set up down there.
Yep.
And that's where all the teams line up down there. We don't even see them.
Right.
They're way in the back roads down here in Industrial Park.
Yep.
And that's where they're culling all their fish. That's where they're weighing all their big fish. And then, of course, all the side pot fish, your guard, dogfish, drum, quillback, and all that stuff.
Right.
Getting them all figured out. And then when they come up further, that's where we have the culling dumpsters. And that's where they get rid of their fish that are not weighing. And then they get into a big line up here, which forms 2 lanes, and then they come up to our weigh-ins.
Yep.
And we have 2 trailers that we use for weigh-ins, which is awesome.
Yep.
We started, I don't think our first boat got up here until like 6:30.
I was going to say 6:30, 6:45, sometime around there.
But even then it was 1.
Yep. Oh, here comes another one.
15-minute
trailers are open, right? Oh, here comes another one.
Right.
Oh, it's kind of touch and go.
Really touching, every 10, 15 minutes another boat would come through.
Right.
And that's always how it goes. Around 8 o'clock is when it really ramps up.
Yep. And everyone had to be back and registered by 8 o'clock. So then everybody was there come 8 o'clock.
And one thing that we say during our pre-tournament meeting is, if you're not coming back, you need to let us know
Yep.
what your team number is, and you're not coming back.
Right.
Because every boat needs to be accounted for after this tournament for safety reasons.
Right. Yep.
And so throughout the night, I get messages, team number 22 not coming back,
Sure.
team 46 not coming back.
Yep.
You know, we had 67 boats come back to weigh in.
Okay. Yep.
Out of 87 that were competing.
Yep.
And at I think it was like at 8:05, Jeff was checking his sheets and checking the sheets of what I told him wasn't coming back, and he goes, "Every boat's accounted for."
Wow, that's very impressive.
Yep.
Yeah, very cool. Good job to everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So as a day was progressing here, we got a lot busier up here at the weigh-ins. And I'm telling you, Derek, with the trailers that we have set up, where you guys are up on top of the trailers with your 5 barrels, the scales.
Yep. We got two weighers, somebody writing down the weights.
Right.
Yep.
And we have sheets that our sheets are awesome because it says quillback, drum,
all our category
all
fish.
our category fish.
Yep.
Your heaviest common because that's a tiebreaker fish.
Yep.
And then your heaviest buff and everything like that. Lightest carp this year.
Yep.
And then you have barrel 1, barrel 2, barrel 3, and so on.
Right.
And then total.
Right. Yep.
And then once you guys get done weighing none of the fish that you are weighing gets put into the dumpster until they sign a piece of paper.
Yep, saying that they are okay with the weight that is on the piece of paper.
Yep, and then we take those fish and dump them into the end loader, and then away they go.
Right. I know Tobes and I would be sitting there. Corey here at the shop was on my scale, and we'd be sitting there, and we'd have the barrels ready, and we'd be like, oh, yep, wait a second here, and the guys would go over to Alyssa, the person who's writing down the weights, and Alyssa would say, all right, here's your weight, and they would say, okay, awesome, good deal, and they'd sign it. As soon as that pen left the paper, we would dump them in, and it was gone, and the next boat was pulling up.
Yeah, yep. And like I said, so we really didn't get started going too crazy, on weigh-ins till about 7:45, 8 o'clock when it really gets busy, where it's just one after another coming in.
Then we can see them over there. We have over in the corner here, we had Garrett who was telling everybody, hey guys, just so everybody knows, we need your biggest common for tiebreaker in any category fish.
Yep.
So everybody had those fish kind of loaded up, which was very nice. But then we can see them, and it goes from, oh, here comes a boat around the corner. Oh, here comes another one, to each line has, as many boats as you can see around the corner. You're like, oh boy, here we go. Yep, we're in the thick of it now.
Now we're rocking. Now we're rocking.
Yep.
And right in the middle, we have our big fish board up.
Yep.
And that's just this constant flip and flop
all
morning long. It's this constant flip and flop. Because when you have a lot of category fish, you're changing gar, drum, quillback, buff, carp, know. And I remember looking at the pictures, I think a carp started out at like 28 pounds, was the heaviest, and it goes to like 29.
29 to 31.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. So there's a lot right away there, too. Right away, there is.
So and it's really cool. And I'm running back and forth because I'm doing the big fish pot and big fish. And I got Kayla there, and she's writing on the piece of paper. And then we put the weight on that and stick it on the fish and stick it back in the board and take the previous one that was up there and get rid of them. So and then we have a whole bunch of people. The crowd is standing right there watching everything and down below us there. We got the music playing.
Yeah. I don't know how many times I yelled, Matt!
Yeah.
What's the biggest gar? What's the quillback? What's the lightest carp? What's the lightest common? And then we figured it out halfway through that we wrote it on some big whiteboards. And I think that not only helped us, but it helped the teams too, to be able to see, oh man, that dogfish, we were going to try to get big dogfish. The big dogfish is 9.6. Ours is only 6.
Right.
So that helped.
So they don't even weigh it.
Right. That helped if it wasn't towards their big 20. And that really helped. That really helped everybody move along.
Yep. But yeah, it was running along really good. And once all the teams are back, then Bob comes up, and then Kevin's running around doing a lot of filming and all that stuff. Yeah. And we got a bunch of cool footage. That's why I'm going to have to put this together today yet, I hope.
This will be a length. This can be a long one for you.
Yeah. Yep. But and then slowly, all of a sudden, you start getting into your bigger
we'd
teams
start,
that,
Right. You'd have guys that would maybe come back a little earlier because their night on the water maybe wasn't quite as good as what they were hoping for.
Right.
So you're weighing in a lot of 200 weights. Then it gets a little later and you're reaching up to 300, 350.
Right.
Oh, 392. Yeah. Oh, our first over 400.
I'm just looking here, Derek, at our a sheet that I have here. So I have the top 26 printed out here. So you got 26 is 333 pounds.
Okay, sure.
And then it was 340, 347, 350, 351, 370, 376, 377, 379, 380, 389, 401.
Look at that. I mean, that was like 5 teams separated by like 12 pounds.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's one fish. And then I remember I was sitting there and I saw a boat come through, And he's like, yeah, I says, what do you got? He goes, we got some pretty good weight, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I jump up on there and do a Facebook Live, you know?
Yep.
And it was Josh Knutson, Bryce Drager, and John Hubble.
Yep.
And they were weighing their fish and stuff. And before that, last year's team that took first place, that won the Big 20, Team Touch and Crocs,
yep,
they were in first place with 472 pounds.
Yep.
And then Chase and Taylors came through, like I said, Josh Knutson and them guys, and they had some bunch of big fish, you know, big commons. And they ended up with 499.
Mm-hmm. Jumped boom, pretty boom. Good.
They jumped up, you know.
Yep.
And then in between there, I saw Eric Coggin come through, and Eric always shoots big fish.
Yeah.
And he shoots with Jeb and stuff, and they always shoot big fish. And I said, what do you got? And he goes, he was driving the truck up to the trailers.
Yeah.
And he goes, get the camera ready.
Oh, I'm like, what a statement.
Here we go.
There we got chills.
I have no idea. I have no idea what they've got,
yeah,
you know, or anything like that there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so I get on Facebook Live, you know, and I jump up on the trailer and stuff. And you guys always ask for your heaviest fish, right? Heaviest common.
Yep, heaviest common.
The common that they pulled out of that barrel is the biggest common that has ever been weighed into the AMS Big 20 tournament.
How cool is that?
Yeah. An absolute beast of a carp.
A toad.
This thing was giant. And yeah, it had a big belly, but this thing was just long.
Yeah.
Its back was thick.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a giant fish.
Yeah.
47 pounds.
Yeah. What a stud.
47.85 or something like that.
That's exactly what it was. 47.85.
How would you like to roll into the tournament with a 47-pound common, Schmitty?
I would be chest puffed out, strutting like a Tom Turkey walking into the tournament.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And what I love about that is when he pulls it out of that barrel, you got to hold it up a little bit to the crowd. Yeah. And the crowd, you can hear the people. I'm not looking, but I can hear the crowd, you know. Holy cow, look at that.
Okay. Billy, look at that fish. Oh, my God, look how big it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but that was just so cool to see that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that fish was just huge.
What a stud.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Really neat fish.
And it's always cool, too. We'll get into the placements here, Matt, but it's always cool because when we were on a scale, I would count out loud, and I would also, Corey and I would both count out loud so we keep each other straight. Right. And then just for another backup, besides the backup of the second person counting, I always got my fingers out here.
Right.
When they're loading fish in the barrel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We fit whatever we can in the barrel. And it was always cool. Of course, it happens later in the weigh-ins, but you get everyone surrounded around your boat, and you're sitting there and you're counting out your fish, and all of a sudden I stop counting at 7, or I stop counting at 6, or I stop counting at 5.
4. Yeah.
Because these fish are so big that we don't have any more room in the barrel.
Right.
So when you do that, you can kind of you just kind of hear a little bit of a chatter behind you.
Right.
And then you lift up the barrel, you'd weigh the barrel. And then I have to announce it out loud for Alyssa to hear. And once we got towards those latter weights, I'm making myself say it a little bit louder just so that everybody, Alyssa, 4 fish. And, you yell out this big weight, and everyone's like, oh, God.
Yeah.
They're sitting in whatever place they're like, that's only 4 fish. Oh, they're going to beat ours.
Yep.
And then you could hear the total get announced, and just that whole tournament atmosphere was so cool to see that everyone gathers around there. Yeah. So that was a neat part about Sunday morning as well.
Yep. And then so now we're getting down to just a handful of boats left. Mm-hmm. So now I go and take a walk over into the weigh-in line.
Sure. You can see the end of the weigh-in line. You got 8 or 10 boats
I can
left.
see one of the boats that's back there is a 3-time AMS Big 20 champion team. So
they got a little bit of a reputation.
They're back there, and I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Mitch Tanner and Christopher James back there. I'm like, okay, I got to go see what they got too, So I went up by Team Carp Unlimited. Like I said, they won the AMS Big 20 3 times.
Yeah, AMS legends, honestly.
Yep. And I said, Josh had his window down. I said, what do you got? And he goes, we're good.
Oh, we're good.
We had a good night. I was like, okay. I didn't even look at the fish. He just said that. And I'm like, okay, I just want to know.
And when you talk to somebody like that who has that kind of history, when they say something like, we're good.
Yeah.
You know that they're talking about that they're going to be competing for the top spot.
Right. And I'm sure a lot of the teams do this. We do it also, but they know.
Yeah.
Within pounds of what they have for weighing.
Yep.
They know.
Yep.
All right. So I see them back there, and I'm like, okay. And we're getting down to like the last 4, and I'm up there watching, and pretty soon the Peases and Cousin Bill Team Carp Unlimited coming up to weigh in.
Yep.
44 pounds.
Yeah, so another.
Thank you for that.
Yeah,
yes.
Another stud.
44 pounds.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I remember they rolled up to our scale, and we knew them. We know them just from, and they all just kind of had a smirk a little bit, and you're kind of like, okay, all right, what are we gonna weigh in here?
Right.
This is gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're weighing in their fish, and now first places was sitting at $4.99. All right, so they come up there and they're weighing their fish, and they had some barrels of fish in their box of their truck as well that they were sliding forward and pulling those fish out of there. And I remember looking at them like, golly, them are some dandy whopper commons there.
Yeah.
And after all was said and done there, they ended up with 527.80 pounds.
Yeah.
But boom, that bumped them up into first place. One boat left.
Which this is the coolest part when you've got you've got your final two boats. Oh, first place is this. Now last boat, what's it gonna be?
And I talked to Bad Influence, Mitch Tanner and Christopher James while they're sitting there waiting. I didn't look at their fish. I just talked to him and I said, "What do you think you got?" And he goes, "We're over 5." I'm like, "All right, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good."
Yes, yes.
So they come up to weigh-ins there, and their biggest common was 34.6.
Yep.
And they started weighing their fish, and I was doing Facebook Live. I'm up there and stuff, and you guys are weighing their fish. I don't know if they were. I think they were on the other.
We had Carp Unlimited. We weighed them in, and then the last bolt was them.
Last bolt was the other scale.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And I remember I'm up there, and I'm kind of in a way up there,
right?
Because I'm getting the scale. I'm talking to people and stuff. I turned around and looked because I could sense that somebody was right over my shoulder here.
Yeah.
I'm like, who the heck is Kevin back there? Is Kevin filming?
Yeah.
I'm in his way if he is.
Yeah.
But I turned around and looked, and here it was Bill Hoyt from Carp Unlimited. He's right up there.
He's see what's going on. Yeah.
He's right up there on the trailer. He's watching.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yep. And their barrels are like barrel 187 pounds. Barrel 2, 167.
And you're sitting there in the crowd. You're trying to do quick math. Oh, 187 plus. Oh boy.
Yep. But so they got down to their final barrel.
And right now the first place is 527.
527.
Yep.
And now they tell them what the weight of that last barrel was. Stephanie writes it down.
Yep.
Starts totaling it up.
Yep.
523.65.
Oh man.
Wow.
Oh man.
Wow.
Yeah. So close.
So close.
I mean, man, once you start getting to weights like that,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
So Schmitty, let's run down the top 8 here.
Gotcha. Sure.
All right.
Sure.
With a total weight of 527.80 pounds and their biggest fish, Team Carp Unlimited won $10,000.
$10,000 first place. Just spectacular.
Right.
They're killers. Awesome. That's so cool. Nice shooting.
That put them at, I think they won, now with that win, it was
fourth one.
4 AMS Big 20s that they won.
Yep, that's crazy. Coming in second place with a weight of, like we just discussed, 523.65. Their big fish was 34.6. Winners of $4,000.
Yeah.
Team Bad Influence.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a 2-person team.
That too. I saw them pull up, and I'm like, there's only 2 guys over there. Oh, my
teams.
gosh. Yeah.
And first and second were trolling motorboats.
Yes. Yep, I noticed that on the pieces when they came through boat inspection. I'm like, oh, trolling motor.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And coming in third with 499.90 pounds, their biggest fish, 33.2 pounds. Chasing Tails, they won $3,000.
Yep. Third place. Nice shooting. Fourth place with a weight of 472.7. Big fish was 29 pounds. Winners of $2,000. Team Touch and Crocs.
Yep. And that was last year's
winners. Right. Yep. Maverick was on that team.
Right.
Yeah.
And then coming in fifth with 452.05 pounds, their biggest common, that was that big one, 47.85. Team Bottom Feeders, they won $1,000.
Yep. Awesome. Sixth place here with a weight of 449.5 pounds. Big fish was 38.45. Winners of $850, Bloodline Outdoors.
Yep. And then coming in seventh with 441.15 pounds, their biggest fish was 31.85 pounds. Team Grim Reaper won $600.
Awesome. And 8th place, our final money place here with a weight of 431.7 pounds. Big fish was 26.9 pounds. They won $300. Team Bloodshed Bullfishing.
Right. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very
awesome
nice.
Shooting, guys. That's once you get into that top 8, that's elite company right there. That's very cool.
Yep. So it was, like I said, weigh-ins. Like I said, we really didn't get going till 7:45, 8 o'clock when you really get rolling when all the teams are back and stuff.
Right.
Schmitty, we were done with weigh-ins at 7:45 in the morning.
Yeah, that's crazy. It seemed way longer than that when we were out there doing it. And then we came back when we were doing the prizes and stuff and I looked at my phone. I'm like, what? It's 10 o'clock?
Yep.
Oh, my gosh.
That's 67 teams weighing in 20 fish plus
category fish.
Category fish.
Yep.
I mean, that's really, really cool.
Yeah. Yep.
And just hats off to the AMS crew right there for getting the job done.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then then we have a TV in the boat room there where the tables are set up and the coffee and stuff, and we have a TV up there that's as Wendy's entering all the stuff, the TV is constantly changing positions. Updating and stuff like that there. It's really cool. So, yeah, it's just a really neat deal. So, Schmitty, let's go over some of the big fish results.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, biggest buffalo, they won. The heaviest buffalo was a Oneida bow donated by Oneida Eagle Bows.
That's awesome.
And the biggest buffalo was 32.8 pounds by Team Whole Shot.
Big old buff. That's awesome.
I really thought there was going to be some bigger buffs.
I actually did
too. But boy, there wasn't a lot of buffs in you. So that was the heaviest. Second was 32.2, and then third was 29.6.
Yeah, and that's actually interesting that you say that, Matt, because up on we have a 10 buff limit in the tournament. I only had one team that I had to really count.
Count 10.
They weighed 9.
I think that was that Team Whole Shot.
Oh, was it? Okay,
I think
maybe
so,
it was. They didn't even have, no teams had their, at least on our scale, no team had their 10 buff limit. It was all It was all big commons.
So remember when I took a picture of their team, they all were holding up buffs.
Oh, okay, sure. Yep. Then that was probably them. What did the biggest common carp win, Matt?
The biggest common carp ended up being the heaviest overall fish in the tournament.
Yes.
So that was $2,550.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
They also won the AMS Hooligan V2, donated by AMS Bowfishing.
Yeah. How cool is that?
And then they also won Randy Parker's Big Fish Trophy.
They had to take a separate trailer home with all these winnings. Good Lord. And that was of course the 47.85 pound mammoth that we were talking about by Team Bottom Feeder. Just an absolute stud. They got to take home a lot of hardware from one fish.
Right. 44 pounds was the next.
Oh, yeah. 44 pounds by Carp Unlimited was the second place, and then 38.45 by Bloodline Outdoors was the third biggest common carp. So there's some big old fish.
Yep. And then we move into the drum category. This was going to be, you're going to win $250 donated by John's Custom Bowfishing Boats.
Just awesome.
And the heaviest drum of the tournament was a 14-pounder shot by River Reapers.
Yep. Team 86. They showed up the day of.
Yep.
That's a late, at the second to last boat. Cool. And I think that got weighed in relatively early in the weigh-ins, I think.
It was later on.
Oh, was it?
It wasn't right away.
Because I remember I had a couple of boats come in. They're like, what's biggest drum? I'm like, 14. They're like,
maybe it did. I can't remember. Maybe
all
it
right.
did.
Well, our 6-pounder isn't going to touch it.
Right.
It was like, oh, wow, that's a solid drum. That's pretty cool. And $250.
Yes.
Was what we're talking about there.
Yep.
Quillback here. We had a little tie for Quillback. And that was the AMS Watermont kit, correct?
Correct.
So the biggest Quillback was 8.6 pounds. All right. Bloodshed Bowfishing and Today We Slay Bowfishing each weighed in an exact weight 8.6 pound Quillback.
Yeah.
So we had to do a little wheeling and dealing.
So what we have in the rules on the big fish results, we say if it's a tie, we're just going to flip a coin. Simple, easy.
Right.
It's out of the way.
Right.
All right.
Yep.
I'm not going to go measure stuff because, these fish, sometimes we end up throwing them out.
Yeah.
So what we do is we just flip a coin. So I get up there and I say, all right, for the Quillback, we got a tie. This is for a AMS Watermock recurve. So one team's going to get the upper limb. The other team's going to get the bottom limb, and then I'm going to cut the riser in half, and you each get half the riser.
Yep.
What we did is we just ended up giving each one of the contestants that won a water mock recurve.
Yeah, that's very cool.
And
that's neat.
Later in the day, I got a message from the team that won Today We Slay, and he sent me a letter.
Oh, nice.
And he said that was his future son-in-law that shot that fish.
Oh,
first time he's ever shot in a tournament, and he just said how thankful he was how each person got a prize for shooting that category.
And
fish.
that's a perfect choice that we did there then to get them each a water mock kit.
And he said this is Jason Wolf. He's a local referee that does basketball games, softball games, and stuff. And I've watched. I kind of became friends with him throughout bow fishing and stuff. He's always messaging me and asking me questions how things are going, and I'm trying to help him out the best I can. You know, and I got to take him out because he wants to go in. And his son was a young kid, and they came in here and bought a bunch of AMS gear years ago when they first got set up and stuff. And they just love coming to the tournaments and stuff. So he was really happy. But here's the cool part about that, Derek. He said that his future son-in-law shot that fish with the water mock recurve.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Oh wow.
How cool
appropriate is that?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Huh. That's very cool.
And then we move into the dogfish category, Schmitty.
Big dog.
Grennel, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, all kinds of names.
Yep. The heaviest dogfish was going to win a megamouth reel.
Ooh-wee.
And that one, the dogfish weighed 9.6 pounds, shot by Interlock Bow Fishing.
Oh, I wonder who shoots on that team.
Corey Brosman.
That's cool. Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
he shot the heaviest dogfish. From there, then it went, 8.6 was the second heaviest, and then 7.4.
Yeah, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Down to Gar here. What did Gar get, Matt?
That was a PSE Mud Dog bow donated by the Wisconsin Bow Fishing Association.
Awesome bow there. Biggest Gar was 13.1 pounds, shot by Team Big Dogs.
Big Dogs.
Oh, Big Dogs. They should have shot the biggest dogfish. That would have been the most appropriate. But they got the biggest Gar, 13.1 pounds. Right. They got that Mud Dog bow there. Second place was 12.8 pounds, shot by Death from Above, and then third place 9.8 pounds by On the Fence.
Cool.
So very cool, very nice.
And then we also had the lightest fish this year, and that's that trophy one, another one of the driftwood trophies that Randy Parker sends down.
Yeah,
that's what it is. And this year, the category was carp. It was a common carp.
Yep,
lightest common carp. I think the first one that came in was like 6.4, and it went to like 3 point something. I'll have to look at. I don't have that category out here, but the lightest gar ended up being
lightest carp.
Lightest carp.
Common carp.
Sorry.
Yep.
0.6.
Yeah. We waited.
How cool is that?
Yeah. I think did a female shooter shoot it?
Correct.
Yeah. She came over and she shot, that was very cool.
I got a picture of it holding it up, and it's like
Yep. That's harder to hit than a 47 pounder.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. We had a team come in, Matt, after that 0.6 was in there, and they had a common carp that was maybe, I don't know, it's probably 4 or 5 pounds.
Yep.
And they said, "Oh, we're gonna put this one in there for lightest common." I said, "We can weigh it for you guys," but I said, "I'm just gonna let you know it's not
right.
It's not lighter than the lightest one that we have so far on the board." And he goes, "Well, when we weighed it, it was 4 or 5 pounds." He said, "What you got over there now is 8.6." I said, "No." I said, "Fellas," I said, "that's not an 8." I said, "That's a 0." They're like, "What?" I said, "Yes." I said, "That's a 0.6." I said, "It was about the size of a little bluegill." I said, it's not. And they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry. We didn't think that 0.6 was possible. We thought it was 8.6.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So I said, "Oh, yeah, sorry, guys."
I think before that it was like 1.
Oh, it was 7. Small. The first one we weighed in, I thought was going to win, and that one was like, I don't know, 3.6 or something like that. Yeah. They're like, "Oh, fellas, that's 0.6. Oh, jeez. Okay, well, we're not going to weigh that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then one of the cool prizes here that we do every year is the Average Joe.
Yeah, I think the coolest prize. Honestly, that's really cool.
And the winning team of this gets to go out to Delaware and shoot stingrays with Corey Brosman.
It's a trip of a lifetime.
It is.
I mean, how cool is that?
Yep. So what we had is we had 67 teams that came back to weigh in. Okay, Derek?
Yep.
We weighed in a total weight of 20,520.30 pounds of fish. That's what we weighed in.
Yeah, I can feel it in my back.
This is a big average.
Yeah,
if you figure out 67 teams that came back to weigh in, this is a big average.
It is. Yep.
That made the average weight that was weighed in during the tournament 306.273 pounds. Okay. Team number 74, Carp Slayers, weighed in 305.2 pounds. That's a variance of 1.07 pounds.
Yep.
And they won the trip to go out with Corey Brosman. And Corey came up to me And he said those guys already set dates. They were all excited. They were all jacked up. They're ready to rock and roll to shoot some Delaware stingrays.
Yeah. And I've pumped this before, Matt, and I'm going to pump it again. All right. We had 60-some teams pre-register, correct? I think it was around that
64.
64 pre-registered. Yes. So Carp Slayers, they were team 74. Okay.
Yeah.
They showed up the day of the tournament, registered at the tournament, decided they were going to shoot. Awesome. Get them here. We want them to shoot and whatever. They came back to weigh-ins, to weigh in, and because they did that, they are going to get to go on the Average Joe trip with Corey and shoot stingrays. Like, that in itself, to me, is a reason, obviously, a huge reason just to come back to weigh-ins. Even if you think you had an average night on the water, you could win a trip of a lifetime. That trip, honestly, could be given away for our big fish or something, and that would be an amazing prize for that. But we're doing it for the Average Joe, the most average weight. So
because if you shoot the big fish, you're getting some nice change. Oh, you're getting some nice prizes.
$2,500, an AMS bulk kit. I mean, you're getting all kinds of stuff. So but that's very cool and very generous of Corey to donate that to us every year.
Absolutely,
so,
And stay tuned because we're working on some new ideas.
Yes, we
for
are.
Next year for the 13th annual AMS Bow Fishing.
We had a 17-hour meeting yesterday discussing new ideas and how to improve it. And the wheels are always turning.
And that's one thing I hear a lot about is, man, your tournament is awesome. It's great. Even after it's done, we have a meeting and we talk to everybody that was running the scales, everybody running the registration, the shop, What can we do to improve on this? What can we do to improve on this? What can we do to make things better?
And the way I look at that, Matt, the second you stop doing that, and the second you think to yourself, we're pretty good, we're doing this, you're starting to fall off.
Right.
You got to constantly be hungry for improvement. That's a huge thing, and we've been doing that for 12 years. We've been having that meeting the day after, and thinking, how can we do this better? And that's why it runs as smoothly as it does, to be honest with you. So,
and you know what? I had the game warden over in the Green Bay area called me right before I had to do the meeting and stuff, and he's talking to me. He's like, I'm telling you what, Matt, he says, you got to tell your guys to have their navigation lights on over here because Green Bay is federal waters. You have the U.S. Coast Guard over there and stuff like that there. And they're like, Matt, if we see boats running with their big lights on plane, we're going to give them a ticket and all that stuff. So I told everybody about that going into the tournament. I said, you got to have flares. You got to have your throwables, your life jackets. Nav lights got to stay on. Don't turn your nav lights off. I don't know why you would anyways. I called them Monday, and they arrested 3 boats, and those 3 boats were not in the tournament.
Yeah. Hats off to everybody shooting the tournament.
That was over in that area. If you went over to Green Bay, you guys, thank you for listening and doing that because that means a lot because he was very happy.
Sure.
When I was talking to him that none of the boats, he says, so whatever you said, he said, worked.
Yep.
So I was very glad. So hats off to anybody that went over to the Green Bay area and shot over there. Thank you for listening and taking that advice.
Yeah. Yep. Hats off. So
what do you think, Schmitty?
Oh, I think that was a good one. I always like these recaps.
I'm big 20'd out.
Yeah. You got to go shoot some fish in Kentucky.
I got to go down and see if the Aqua Traction guy is here.
Oh, yes, that's right.
I'm jacked up about that.
You better film that.
I will.
Lapse.
I'll get that.
That'll be cool. So,
all right, Schmitty. Good podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. That was fun.
You bet. So, from all of us here at AMS Bow Fishing, we wish you the best of luck. Remember, aim low
and think big. Thanks for listening, guys.